Hey everybody, welcome to the Raw Online Report. Today's guest, one of my favorite people in the world, talking about 8-time Mr. Olympia, totally awesome, Lee Haney. Thanks you for joining me today, Lee. Appreciate it.
Ron, it's always great seeing you, my man, and it's an honor to be on your show. I really appreciate what you do and what you bring to the world of bodybuilding.
Thank you, sir. And of course, I had to get you close to the 2025 Olympia, the 61st edition of the Mr. Olympia. Hard to believe it's been going on for 61 years. Wow. So I'm gonna start right off the top. Defending champion is Samson Dauda. He's clearly the favorite. He did that guest posing about I think it was about 8 weeks ago. People saw this and they were like, oh. Some people said, well, he's in shape a lot sooner than usual. He's ahead of schedule. Can that be a good thing or a bad thing? I think it was a great thing because I think we're going to see that extra bit of condition. I don't know. Were you following that whole drama when this guest posing video came out?
Yes, I sure was, and man, I was very impressed. And I feel just as you do, because of Samson being in condition a little bit earlier, this is giving him opportunity to be sharper. Because last year, although he was a winner, I still felt that Samson was probably about 15% off, but now looking at him, man, he's done his homework. He looks great. He's nice and trim, more muscle separation, and he's, his posing is excellent. So, I mean, he's getting ready to defend his title, man. Nobody's going to take his cookie.
So he did something that most Mr. Olympia winners never did, which was do the Arnold Classic while they were a reigning Mr. Olympia. I know Ronnie did it. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head that ever did that, competed in the Arnold while they were still Mr. Olympia, until Samson did it this year, took a chance, and he came up short to Derek Lunsford. Psychologically, that must have been tough to be Mr. Olympia, and now you get beat 6 months later at the Arnold Classic. But what was running through your head when that happened?
Well, I sort of suspected that could happen because it's hard to force the body to compete with such a short period of time between competitions. Your system has to have a break. It has to have a reset, with all of your internal organs going through a good filtering and cleansing process. So it takes time to do that. So being that the Arnold was the last time he competed and giving him, several months to prepare for the Olympia, he's ready now.
Yeah. So this is a unique situation where in these days with the Olympia, you were the first guy to have that era of, a domination 8 years in a row. And then after you, we had Dorian for 6 years. Then after that, we had Ronnie for 8 years. There was a little break there with a couple changing of hands of the title, but then we had Phil Heath for 7 years. But since Phil, we've had a lot of different winners. In fact, since Phil won in 2017 for the last time, we have had 7 different Mr. Olympia champions in 8 years. So, Samson in the old days, he probably could have expected to keep winning, but these days, I don't know. I think this title is wide open. But who do you see as his biggest threat, if you can name one person that you feel that strongly about?
Well, you still have to consider Hottie. Hottie's always in excellent condition. But when you look at Samson, his height and his proportion, how everything sort of fits. And he's very domineering. So it's hard to fight that. You got now Tabani. I'm so glad that he was able to get his visa. So he has an opportunity here to come in and do a lot of damage because guess what? He has height and he has proportion and he has very good muscle maturity going for him. So this is going to be a clash of giants. You got Andrew Jack. If Andrew comes back this year, a little tighter, peaking as we all hope that he will, then you're going to have 3 monsters up there at the same time. So this height and proportion thing with symmetry and balance is up in the air. And so now, and again, you got Hottie that's always super ripped. He's going to be ready. You know, you got Fistwater. You know, hopefully he can come in with a good package. Because when I first saw him for the first time, me and Jay Cutler were sitting together. And I said, man, Jay, this guy looks good. I like the way his physique flows. Nothing is overbearing. He don't have weird looking body parts that doesn't fit. So I like what he looks. I love his look, you know, so yeah. This is going to be a very interesting Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, I mean,
they got to come with it in order to beat Samson. You're not just going to smack the champ on the chin. You got to knock him out.
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking. This was the Arnold where Derek did knock him out. Andrew was a strong contender there too, but it came down to condition. I think that's precisely where Derek beat Samson back in March at the Arnold. But as we just talked about, Samson, I think he learned a lesson here that condition has to be 100%. He can't win at 90% anymore. So where does that leave Derek? Because the Derek we're looking at here at the Arnold, that's probably one of the better versions of him. Maybe that, along with when he won the Olympia in 2023. I don't know what his odds, what his chances are, but he's still a Mr. Olympia champ, and he's going to try to get that title back, just like Hottie is.
Yeah, you know, I think, and again, it's hard to beat Hottie's conditioning, but if Derek can bring that package like he brought it at the Arnold, then I think him and Hottie is going to be fighting for places right there. I have them, you know, placing ahead of Fitzwater because of their ability to have size and good muscle maturity at the same time. Fitzwater is coming along real well, but Derek and Hottie is sort of ahead of the pack when it comes to that. So let's see what happens. And, you know, with Tabani, if he's able to bring a beautiful package with conditioning and he has the height, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a pretty good battle. But that remains to be seen. You know, Tabani has never had to stand on the stage with these guys on this side of the water.
Right.
So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, were you? I almost fell off my chair. I wasn't actually on a chair, but when I heard that he got his visa, I was so shocked because it's been three times prior to this that he was qualified for the Olympia and did not gain and get a visa. He was not able to get here, and I kept hearing, well, it's because he was in the Army before, and I didn't think we'd ever see this guy on the Olympia stage. To me, this was the feel-good story of the Olympia. You know, until the Olympia happens. Were you ever expecting to see this guy get into the USA and on that Olympia stage?
Man, I was hoping so. You know, I fell in love with Tabani. You know, we were together with Panada in Italy a few months back, and man, I was just so taken with his personality, but also with his incredible physique, with his height and everything. So, I mean, you know, giants like giants. You know, I was 5'11" and a half.
Yeah, height,
and that's something that's rare. So when you can get height, you can get symmetry, you get good muscle separation. It's overpowering. I mean, like Franco could never overpower Arnold. I don't care what day of the week it was. It is what it is, and people tend to love those type of physiques.
So you stood next to him. How tall is he? Because I have never seen him next to anyone who I really knew their height.
I mean, I'm 5'11". He's my height.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
He got great height. Everything flows good. His legs is not over developed. You know, you remember Big Ramy had huge legs.
Yeah.
Too much time on the squat rack. You end up throwing your physique off balance. And so there you go. But now I also want to, you know, we got Nick Walker in the show too. So a lot of people are talking about Nick. And listen, Nick got muscle all over the place. You know, he's a monster. He trains his butt off. You know, he's hungry. I think he's a great athlete. You know, if you're looking at balance, symmetry, and so forth, then Nick is not your guy. It's not my guy.
Right.
Ever. You know, it all depends on what the judges are looking for. You know, I tend to think because right in Mr. Olympia Sampson, you got height, you got proportion, You got an excellent presentation going on. Then you got people like Tabani, this height, great proportions. You got, Andrew Jack. Andrew sort of missed his peak on different occasions. So I just hope that the judges will still pay attention to his package, because sometimes when you're there too long, you can have a tendency to get overlooked if you don't move to the next phase, And then, of course, you got Fitzwater. He's hungry. I know this guy's going to come in the best shape of his life, I strongly feel. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, geez, there's so many. I could see the top 5 or 6 being shuffled so many different ways, which is why predictions are sort of silly at this point. It's all these guys have pretty much beaten each other at one point in time, almost. Nick's never beaten Hadi, Sampson, or Derek, but Derek Sampson and Derek Sampson and Hadi have all beaten each other in the past. Yep. So it's one of those things on any given day. We could see it.
That's right. This is I think this is going to be one of the best Olympias in recent years. It's going to be worth a ticket, worth a trip. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah, and the prize money has gone up substantially. Like, what was your first Olympia? Do you remember what you won back in, that was 84?
Oh man, it was $50,000.
So 1991, we fast forward 8 years later. What was it?
I think it was around 60 or 65 then. So
wow,
it took me 8 years just to get to $65,000.
So what is, I'm sure you're happy for Sampson and these guys getting the big money, but is it shocking to you that the prize money is, the Arnold is giving away $750 next year for the winner? It's crazy how good the money's getting.
Well, something, and these guys deserve every bit of it, because your life as an athlete is not that long, all the hard work, the sacrifice, you have to make it while you can. You have to think about your health. I mean, once you reach about 35, getting close to 40, your natural growth hormone drops. Then, of course, your T levels start to take a dip, and your joints has already been traumatized over the years of playing, placing 10th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and you finally get to first place. How much more gas do you have in the tank? So I'm happy to see the money increase to what it has. I would hope that it would increase even more, because there's not a lot of money in these times,
True. Let me ask you, Lee, I know we've talked about why when you were getting ready for your 8th Olympia, you knew that was going to be your last one. But say the money had been much, much better. Say it had been like $500,000 back then. Would you maybe have been enticed to give it another couple of years?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And again, that's a strong maybe. I didn't, you never knew from one year to the next if it was going to increase. Money was never a conversation during that time. Where you got Arnold pushing the Mr. Olympia, and they're going back and forth, which is a good thing for the athletes.
Sure.
And now there are more companies that are involved. You have, greater sponsorship dollars. I still wish we would have had that TV money coming in, because that would shoot it up to several million, which would be great.
Yeah. I hate to put you on the spot, but can you give me what you think might be the top 5 at this Olympia for the Mr. Olympia?
Oh, well, I tell you what, man, Sampson is my number 1.
Okay.
I strongly feel it's going to be Sampson. I think number 2 is going to be between Hadi and Tabani.
Wow. Okay.
One of the two of them, if you're talking height and proportion, it's going to be Tabani. If he can get it together, because, I know he's been stressed out trying to get over here.
Right.
If everything levels out, he can get here on time. He can do his prep. I don't know if he's in the United States already. I don't know.
I think if he was here, I think we'd know, because Milos would be posting all about it.
See, man, and that's the deal. You got to get, normally about a week, the week of the show, you should be sitting comfortable, chilling, doing your last minute prep. And so with the rush that's being placed upon him, you know, that leaves room for error as far as his conditioning is concerned.
Mm.
You know, Honey is already here. I think he's there with Honey Rambarg, and Honey is putting the finish touch. You know, when Honey touch athlete, man, that's about it. You know, this cat knows how to get you from one level to the next as far as peaking.
Yeah.
So Honey is already here chilling out with his last minute prep. Now, Andrew, if he can get it together this time as far as peaking correctly, he'll be a force to reckon with. So I look at Samson, I look at Honey, I look at Tabani, I look at between Andrew and Fishwater, you know, then I have Nick is maybe coming in, maybe 6th place.
Wow, poor Nick. Look how far he dropped.
Well, you know, and again, it's an eye of the beholder, you know. It all depends on what the judges want to see. You know, Nick has a huge following, and he's conditioning out of the kazoo. I mean, he's very conditioned, but his proportion, you know, it is just not what we see or what I see as being a Mr. Olympia. Balance, symmetry is everything. I mean, you know, Sean, we look at like Lee Labrado. Lee wasn't a big guy, but man, was he a masterpiece. Frank Zane wasn't a big guy, but man, wasn't he a masterpiece. So it all depends on what the judges want to see. You know, I know what I want to see, and I want to see something that flows, something that's beautiful, something that the general public would say, hey, I want to look like that.
Yeah.
That's what I saw when I saw Arnold for the first time when I was 20 years old. I wanted to look like that. I wanted to look like Robbie. So it all depends on where the standard of bodybuilding is headed, you know, and I hope that the standard remain in such a way that it's pleasing to the eye. You know, you look at Chris Bumstead, Chris, man, a masterpiece. You look at Breon, the guys that's there within those classic, man, these guys are beautiful to behold. So that's my opinion. And everybody got one, guy. So forgive me if I said something that offends some of you guys. But it's where I'm from.
You're never going to make everybody happy because all the fans have their favorites. Yeah. And if you don't agree with what they think is the best physique, then you know you're a hater or you're an idiot. But whatever, it's a subjective sport. It's like a beauty pageant.
Yeah.
You know what I consider the most beautiful woman in the world. The guy next to me might say, "Oh, no way, this woman's way prettier than that." But whatever.
Yeah.
But I think everybody agrees on Keon Pearson. That is a beautiful physique.
Keon, man, he's something to see, man. There's not another physique out there that can rival Hills. I mean, he is absolutely, and I love his muscle maturity. His the way his physique flows from shoulder to waist, beautiful thighs, you know, everything is there. And he's excellent at presenting. So when you put all of that together, man, it's lights out. So I wish him all the best. You know, he just need to continue working on quality, muscle maturity, that kind of deal. He don't need to add. He don't need more muscle size. He got it.
So I mean, we were just looking at that white backdrop. That was at the Olympia where he won. This was a couple months ago at guest posing.
Yeah, I saw that.
He definitely looks bigger now, for sure.
Oh man, he looks good. I mean, that's his guest posing. He looked that great. Yeah. So just think about what he's gonna look at Olympia. So, I mean, you know, we got the different categories, and that's great. It's something for everybody at the Olympia. But if you're looking for the best of the best in the Excalibur physiques, then of course you got to include him. Yeah. No doubt about it. As you include Samson. So it depends on, you know, what do the judges think, you know. Samson definitely don't look like Keon.
Right.
You know, and Keon doesn't look like Samson as far as height and proportion. But for his height and his own personal proportion, he's incredible, untouchable.
Now, what do you think about him moving up to open, leaving 212 behind? Do you think he should do that sooner rather than later, or keep riding out these 212 wins?
Well, you know, hey man, the check is bigger in open. Period.
True.
I mean, you know, so You know, it's all a matter of choice. I think he'll do great in open. I think he could actually win in open. But it all depends on what the judges are saying, you know. They do have categories separated for a specific reason. If Derek moved up to open as he did and was successful, then of course Keon can, because Keon bring a better package than Derek does. He bring a better package of symmetry than Hottie does. So he don't have to be in fear of anybody, period.
True.
If they won the Olympia, then heck, who can stop Keon from winning? Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, he is doing open at the Prague show a couple weeks after the Olympia, but as far as the Olympia, he's one of the people. That division is one where I don't hear anybody in doubt of him holding on to the title. Everyone's like, Keon's got it. No one's beating Keon.
Nobody.
Got everything. It's just a beautiful physique with plenty of mass, tiny joints. It's hard to find. It's hard. You can pick people apart, but I'm trying to find a flaw in this guy's physique. Obviously, this is in prep. He's not in the final form here, but it's really hard to find flaws with Keon.
If you ask me, man, he's a genetic myth.
Yes.
He looked like he's a Sergio Olivier, period.
Yeah.
With more muscle maturity. Right. You can't build a physique like that. It'd have to be born. But then the specific training engineering that was given to it was right on time. He did not create overpowering body part like shoulders, weird shoulders that's too big by using 120-pound dumbbells. And that's the kind of stuff a lot of guys get in trouble with. You know, if you're going to build a beautiful aesthetic physique, you have to be careful with the amount of weight you use and the type of exercises you use. I see guys, you know, squatting like power lifters. Well, guess what? You develop thighs like a power lifter. If you do a lot of powerful or heavy deadlifts, you'll end up developing a huge thick waist as a power lifter. So you got to be specifics in your training approach.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say 120 cc's of oil in each shoulder.
Well, I see that too.
Yeah,
I see that too. Like, what? Come on now, what are you thinking? Train your shoulders. Do the proper engineering. You know, one of the things I see, Ron, when I see some guys training, they have no idea what the various exercises are for. You got to be specific when it comes to training. Well, what does a leg extension does? What does a leg press does? And what is purpose? What does a hack does? What's the purpose of it? You know, what's a stiff leg deadlift? What is a leg curl? Why do you do these different movements? You can't go to the gym and start grabbing stuff and doing things without no rhyme or reason as to why you're doing it.
True.
So you have to engineer the body properly. That was one of the things a lot of the old school classic bodies did. There was a rhyme and a reason behind each movement. And they didn't just stay on one particular one. Well, I can squat 700-800 pounds. Why do you want to do that? It makes no sense.
Well, you might be in a wheelchair later in life, or
you'll look like an orc or a cyclops.
Cyclops.
You know, I see a lot of that these days.
All right, so we have one more division I want to touch on: classic physique. We're going to have a new champion this year, and the guy in the middle here was Mike Sommerfeld, winning the Arnold Classic earlier in the season. He was a very, very strong runner-up to Chris Bumstead last year. And some people thought he beat him in some of the poses, at least. He is the favorite, but there are some strong contenders. First of all, what do you think his chances are of getting the title? Because we always think the guy who was second the year before is next in line, which sometimes happens, but not all the time.
Yeah, man, this guy is pretty. I mean, I love that, man. He is incredible. His showmanship is out of the world by none. Man, he's going to do great. It'll be hard to dethrone him, you know, but you can never say never. You know, the art of peaking is very special, and that's always the determining factor. The art of peaking. That's the deal right there. If he get that right, then guess what? He'll be hard to stop.
With that being said, who do you think has the best chance of stopping him?
Well, it's hard to say. Was it Terrence? Terrence is incredible. So
thank you. I was waiting for you to say Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence looked great. I've been watching him and some of his various posts on Instagrams, and man, he is absolutely on the money. Beautiful, flows well, incredible stage presence. So anyway, and he knows how to peak. He don't get there by accident. That is science on a whole nother level there. So I see him as being the top competition.
Yeah, I mean, there are arguments about what is classic physique. Who's more classic, quote unquote. Is it Mike? Is it him? Is it Ramondino? I think it's kind of open to interpretation, and everyone has their own idea. But the posing, if you're someone, you came from an era where posing was very important. You guys, your era, the men spent so much time and effort trying to look graceful and aesthetic on stage, like a moving sculpture. Like you mentioned, Lee Labrada. We had guys like Lee, like yourself, Barry DeMay, going back further, guys Mohammed Makaway, Ed Corney, Bob Paris. Just posing was an art form, and some guys still keep that alive. I'd say Terrence is the greatest representation of carrying on that tradition where posing was equally, you put as much attention into that as you did the training and the diet.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I mean, this is poetry in motion. And just what mesmerizes people and the audiences, the judges. So I don't know if they're scoring it now. Is it being scored, Ron?
No. At the Arnold Classic it is, but that's the only.
Great. Yeah. See, Arnold loved that because that's the school where Arnold came from.
Right. And
it should always be a priority. The pose routine should always be up there with symmetry. Of course, muscularity is important, but your ability to display and to capture the minds and the curiosity of the audience is so important. It says a lot. When you can grab an audience with a beautiful posing presentation, you demand the crowd. And so that's something that should happen on every level, not just in the classic physiques, but physiques, and also particularly in the open division. Now, I would love to see the guys in the classic physique division get more prize money. I think it's tragic that they have a larger following, a huge following, and then get less of the prize money. Doesn't make sense at all.
Well, I mean, the Arnold has bumped up the prize money for classic. It's still not anywhere near what the open is, but the disparity isn't as great as it is at the Olympia between open and classic. But I hear you. I mean, if you talk to a lot of the younger people, young guys in the 18 to 25 age group, most of them are far more interested in classic physique and follow more of the classic competitors than they do the open guys.
Oh, no doubt about it. When I'm out on the road, I just got back from Turkey. I was there on behalf of Bernardo, myself, Bob Chick, and Sean Ray. And you got these 15, 17, 20-year-olds coming up to the booth saying, Mr. Haney, I really admired your era in bodybuilding. Yeah, I mean, the classic look, it looked great. That's what I want to be like, So you got the kids saying that. So what is that saying? It's talking about a value system there. And so I think our organization needs to take notes at that and, give these guys, reward these guys for their effort. And that's what the general public want to see.
True. All right, let's turn our attention now to is this the 14th annual Lee Haney Games? How long have you been doing this, Lee?
Oh, man. I've really been doing it probably around 14 years now.
Wow.
But we brought the bodybuilding onto it probably around 12 years ago. Because prior to that time, we had what was called the Teen Challenge, the obstacle racing, the power lifting, the strongman. We had all of that during that time, and we added the bodybuilding portion afterwards. And also during that early time, we also had the teenage bodybuilding division. And so we've been going now about a total of 15 years.
Wow. So it's a one, you're managing to squeeze this all into one day this year?
Well, we do have the one day with the, we're expo this time. This is expo. Okay. Now on the 30th, we have a golf tournament. Wow. Which is unique. Yeah, that's rare. So we're trying to do things that also capture the curiosity and the interest of the general public. So we have the golf tournament that'll take place Thursday before. Then come Saturday, we have the Lee Haney Classic Bodybuilding Championship, which is under the umbrella of the International Association of Fitness Science. Yeah. Now, that's my training organization that was created more than about 15 years ago. And matter of fact, it's the first one to be, I don't know if any other, maybe it's the first to be recognized with a Senate approval. So the Georgia State Senate approved my organization, as well as the anti-age organization. We have a recognition by way of a college institution and so forth. So it's under the banner of that. So this year we'll include a calisthenic competition, which some of the students there at Georgia Tech will be in charge of that. We have UPS as one of the sponsors of that particular event. Wow. Then, of course, we have the deadlift competition that we're going to be doing this year. And my friends from High Tech Pharmaceuticals, Mr. Jared Wheat, is the title sponsor of the entire event. So I can't tell you how much we appreciate Jared being there with us these last 10 years or so. So it has made a huge difference in our event. And we'll also have the female figure, bikini, wellness. We'll have all of that. We'll have the what we call in classic bodybuilding is classic physique. That's really what it is. It's called classic bodybuilding. So that category is there. We're looking for symmetry. We're looking for the ability to project and pose properly. Then we look for muscularity. Muscularity is not going to be ahead of symmetry and also your posing presentation. It's important, but we want beautiful, healthy showmanship at the event. Then we'll also have the physique categories, just as we have in all the other shows. So we're excited. And then we have it set up where you can come from anywhere in the world to compete in the Lee Haney Games. You don't have to be of any particular type of federation. Or you come here. Yeah. It's going to be great. Everybody is welcome. We have teenagers signing up from all over the United States. We have novices. We have the open event. So nothing changes. So we're excited about what we're doing. Then, of course, we have the coin toss challenge too. We got the dance going on. We got something for everybody.
Seriously, LeeHaneyGames.com is the website. Yeah. Interesting that you have classic bodybuilding, because before there was classic physique, I distinctly remember going to the Arnold Classic. This is probably around 2010, and they had a division called classic bodybuilding back then.
Yes. And see, that's really what classic physique is. True. I recall when the category came about, I said classic physique. I said, wait a minute. That's classic bodybuilding, but I guess they want to put a spin on the name. I don't know. But I like to sort of retro it back to what it was originally meant to be. It is classic bodybuilding. That's where I'm from. That's where Arnold from. That's where Frank Zane from. There's Robbie, Roy Callender, Boy Cole, name it. That's where we're from. And I want to make sure that is also honored and protected in our organization.
So you have men's physique. You added the side tricep pose.
Oh yeah, listen, Ron. That's old school.
Yeah,
that's tradition. So we're going to be doing all our mandatory poses. We have the symmetry round. We have all of that, just as it was intended to be. And I want to see some great posing routine. So we got a list of great judges. We got Jan Tanner be there with us and making sure the athletes are ready to hit the stage. And we also have Bay and Associates. That's our law firm that's been with us for the last 8 years or so. Then, of course, we have benefits resource planning. My dear friend, the press, he's going to be there. Oh. So they've supported us all through the years. We have the Hemagon racing team. They won the Indy 500 a few years ago. They're going to be there along with Super Fitness. And man, we're just so excited. So we're rocking and rolling, making it happen.
Yeah, wow. I mean, this has been a tradition. I mean, anyone in the Atlanta area, I'm sure they've known about this for many, many years. But you're attracting people from all around the world now.
Yes.
Really
and that's
cool.
What's exciting, because in the world of bodybuilding, we're a family. You know, I've gone over 30 different countries around the world. I have relationships with people from all over the world. Just made some new friends there in Turkey, and it's all exciting, man. We have Panada that's also a part of helping us with our event this year. So we're excited about what's happening, and again, new relationships. You know, High Tech Pharmaceuticals, UPS, and you know they're always known for being in great condition. So they're going to bring a team too. So this is going to be very exciting.
Amazing. Wow. Well, congratulations. This is looks like it's a labor of love. You've always been someone who gave back. Even when you were Mr. Olympia, you had the Lee Haney Harvest House, right? Way back then.
Yes, we still got it, Ron. As a matter of fact, this is the fundraiser to help raise funds for our mentoring program, Haney's Harvest House.
Wow.
So I want to press upon those who are listening. When you come to Lee Haney Games, you're helping. You know, you're helping to grow our event, but more importantly, you're helping to impact the life of some young man. You know, matter of fact, one of our young men is now a commander there at NATO. So we put out some great seeds over the years. So thank each and every one of you that's been a part of the Lee Haney Games over the years. We appreciate it. We also we want to thank our vendors for being a part of it. So we're looking forward to you guys joining us and making the same success as you have in past times.
Yeah, it's really cool that you're still doing this. I mean, you've been retired for many, many years now, but you're still a vital part of the industry. Still traveling the world as an ambassador, you know, spreading the word of fitness and bodybuilding and health and all that good stuff. And you've always been about health, not just about big showy muscles. You've always stressed looking good on the outside and feeling good and healthy on the inside as well, which not everyone emphasizes that aspect of it. So really, really proud to be able to still speak to you after all these years about all this stuff. You know,
thanks, Ron. You know, Ron, one of my passions too is to see the guys in our world, the world of bodybuilding, one day grow up and be a grandpa just like me. You know, I'm 65. I got 6 grandkids, and I'm happy that I thought about that during my competitive years. I wanted to make sure I took care of my body, because my ultimate health is my wealth, and that's the name of the game. At the end of the day, you want to have your wealth, but more importantly, have your health, because you need health to get wealth.
True. All right, guys. Well, I want you to check out the Lee Haney Games coming up November 1st, right there in Atlanta. All the info is at LeeHaneyGames.com. Also has that Lee_Haney_Games Instagram. Of course, you can check out the 8-time Mr. Olympia's official Instagram, Lee_Haney_official. A lot of good stuff on there. Thank you, Lee. I wish you the much success with the event, as always. Appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. Are you going to be at the Mr. Olympia this year?
Ron, I just got in from Turkey. I think I'm going to watch it live. Just
me too. Yeah, me too.
While I got grandkids running all over the place.
That's true.
But I haven't tuned in, that's for sure.
Right on. Well, again, thank you for taking the time, Lee. And guys, check out those Instagram pages and that website, LeeHaneyGames.com, for more info. And if you're anywhere within distance of Atlanta, Georgia, make a trip out of that. It's going to be a good time. So that's it. Thank you so much, Lee. Appreciate you as always. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching Ron Line Report with the 8-time Mr. Olympia, the totally awesome one, Lee Haney. See you next time. Thanks for watching.